Hey community members, crypto miners, this is Will from the Pelish Miner. So today I was able to tune into the ETC radio for the ETCMC. We all know about the nodes, and I got to ask a couple questions and learn a few things about some grants and other things that are available that are out there. So I will tune into my portion and you can check it out for yourself.
Yeah, and I just like personally because just because I've been around for a while, or Bob's been around for a while, or Donald, I mean, we've had debates and we're all wrong in certain stuff. It's because no one's an expert. Yep. This is such a young industry. It's only 10 years. You guys are, you guys will be OGs even if you came in last year, right? You'll be an OG in no time because it's such a young industry. But what I do is, like, where I get my ideas and everything is I try to look at what saw success on other EVMs or other ecosystems, and I've looked at it and said, can we skip those steps? Like, is that protocol obsolete right now? Like, was it necessary? What was gained out of that? And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Because I don't think we need all of the junk from other chains. We just need like the most material elements, the stuff that facilitates exchange, the nice marketplaces, the good wallet experience. That's another thing is that we'll end up, I think we'll end up having, doing probably some better swap markets. I know ETC swap's pretty rough. It's just dated. It's the 2020 UI. So I think we'll be updating all of that stuff and putting time in there. And that's kind of when I was looking at bridging. Is I was like, okay, a big push for me is going to be trying to get get over into our network, bridged assets that I would want to trade ETC for. But anyways, and just like looking at that, I thought we could skip Confluence and that limit order dexes, and we can't, and that was a learning experience with ETC swap and hearing people like, oh man, there's not liquidity there. Oh, we got to, the liquidity issue is such a problem. Yep. So just if you're new, you can just go. The point of what I was just saying is, even if you're new, you don't have to be old, right? Even if you're new, go and look at whatever's successful on other chains and say, oh, like, that does have value over on Classic. Maybe I could be the person pushing that. That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have more hands doing that for sure.
It makes total sense. Man, great discussion. I like all this. It's just a lot. There's a lot to talk about. Put it that way.
Yeah, sorry to the users. I was really rambling there. Really,
it's good stuff.
I get chirping.
It's I think it's stuff that needs to be talked about, right? And it's hard to talk through all this stuff like on a Telegram or Discord, right? So this is a good avenue just to kind of talk about all these different things that either need to be done or in the works or is being done, right? I mean, but this whole stablecoin, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that whole sector, around the whole every blockchain, right?
Right. And I just want to say, of like, I'm sitting here talking glass half empty. The glass half full is, we're sitting here on calls talking about the application layer on top of Classic, which wasn't something that we were talking about in the past. We've moved on. The protocol itself, the layer 1 protocol of Classic, is in a really, really good spot. And that's what's exciting, is that it enables us to start building the application layer on Classic, because whatever you're going to deploy is secure. It'll be around. And if you're building these applications, usually it's not a lot of overhead. Because once a smart contract's deployed, it's pretty much done, right? Maybe you're working on another version, but whatever you deployed is live and out there. And so anyways, so that's exciting. That's the glass half full situation. Is there's so much to build, so much opportunity, and with that opportunity comes careers and success. So I hope anyone that has talent and has motivation looks at this network and says, hey, that's a place where where I can take whatever I've learned in this industry and I can probably build a pretty successful career on that network, adding value over there.
Awesome, and definitely well said, man. As always, guys, any projects on updates or any questions, thoughts?
Right. Even if you're new, go and look at whatever's successful on other chains and say, oh, like, you know, that does have value over on Classic. You know, maybe I could be the person pushing that. That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have more hands doing that for sure.
It makes total sense. Man, great discussion. I like all this. It's just a lot. There's a lot to talk about. Put it that way.
Yeah, sorry to the users. I was really rambling there. Really,
no, it's good stuff.
It's chirping.
It's I think it's stuff that needs to be talked about, right? And it's hard to talk through all this stuff like on a Telegram or Discord, right? So this is a good avenue just to kind of talk about all these different things that either need to be done or in the works or is being done, right? I mean, but this whole stablecoin, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that whole sector, around the whole every blockchain, right?
Right. And I just want to say, of like, you know, I'm sitting here talking glass half empty. You know, the glass half full is
from a separate, you know, custodian from separate from the exchange, right? So that's one thing I was reading about this morning that could slow down the ETF approvals, I guess. But
I think there's a company called BitGo that does that. And,
yeah, that's right.
But they're, man, super expensive. So you start thinking about these ETFs, and I mean, I guess it opens up to like a different crowd or whatever, but it's like, man, you're going to be paying all these maintenance fees and all this. It's like, just buy the asset and store it yourself, you know, self-custody, for the love of God. But
see, Chris, I don't think a lot of people want to do that, though. Like, even people I know that aren't in the space, they don't want to deal with any of that. They're willing to actually, they'd rather pay extra fees and not have to deal with it, honestly, some people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and if the asset appreciates, you know,
right,
then it's all good. Yeah, so it's a totally different crowd. It's not a self-custody crowd that's likely.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. Because what the ETFs I think will bring in, it's going to be that crowd that just wants to trade an ETF and not have any kind of wallet or passwords or nothing, right? It's just you buy and sell the ETF.
Yeah, let's say that you have you're managing a big pension fund for teachers, right?
Sure.
That might be the perfect place where they're like, you know what, we'd like to get 1% or 0.5% exposure to Bitcoin in this pension fund.
Yep.
To me and you, that is a humongous amount of money, but you know, that's a prime candidate for an ETF.
I think definitely.
It'll be interesting to see the marketing teams on these ETFs too, to see, you know, the banks for so long were like, oh, Bitcoin's not a real deal, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, once they got an asset to sell, to see them turn it over and, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah.
They'll have entire ETFs for, like, you know, altcoins and NFTs.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Pelish Miner, how you doing? Happy Friday.
Hopefully I can play this back later for all the other people out there. So I'm just kind of curious. I've known about the ETCMC, the nodes, a while ago, right? I finally ordered one a couple weeks back. Have they sped up the times in getting those out at all? I'm not in a big rush. I know I'll get mine, but I'm super excited for it, and I've been watching ETCPOW. It's been going crazy, along with everything else that's in altcoin. You got anything to add to that, or can you answer the question, please?
I could answer that. I guess Seth is on as well from ETCMC, but I would tell you they're probably back ordered, is my guess. If I had to guess, it might take a little time, but I don't know if Seth, do you have any kind of update on orders?
Yeah, so the orders, we are getting through them quite fast. It's just we did get a huge influx of them, and then we still are. I think we're sold out at the moment, so we are getting through the orders as quick as we possibly can. We are shipping from the UK and from the EU as well. How long ago did you say it was that you placed your order, roughly?
I'm number 425. How's that?
Number 425. What I'll do then, I will track that order down and see its status for you, and I'll give you a DM.
Yeah.
I'll give you a DM on your Twitter account.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to go through and do a review on that, like my buddy Rabid Mining and a couple of the other ones that are out there. We're super excited for these things. I've got a simple plan. I'm going to end up mining enough just to grab a license, and I'll find a little mini PC and add a second one that way, because you guys don't take the card or the credit cards for the licenses. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so currently it's payment in ETC PAL. We did start with you could purchase it through PayPal, but they can be a bit funny with certain things that you sell through them. They're fine with the hardware, but the kind of software license and things like that we're being a bit funny with. But yeah, a lot of people are picking up, even second-hand little units and then purchasing the license and setting it up that way. We see quite a lot of that happening, especially when we're out of stock, as you can imagine, because they want to get running quick. So yeah, that is proving a great avenue to get started quickly.
Well, I appreciate you guys doing this for us out here in the mining community. It's always a good thing when you've got something that's doing that well. So good for you guys. And I want to say, again, like I said, thank you for doing this. I simplest thing in the whole wide world. I look at doing a lot of different other nodes and whatnot, and this is the one by far that is a no-brainer. And it makes the most, too. You guys beat Flux by leaps and bounds, and that's the other, I think at this point right now, one of the more popular ones. So thanks again.
No worries, you're welcome, and I appreciate you saying that. We have everyone in the community is putting a ton of work, and it just shows that if a community gets behind something, then anything is possible, and we're just proof of that. So yeah, thanks again for saying that. I appreciate it, mate.
Well, I'm done, so whoever's up next, thanks again.
No, appreciate it. Thanks for joining on, man. Good question. Once you get that one node, I bet you'll get a few more, is my guess. Yeah, so just my suggestion. Guys, we're at, oh, man, I can't even believe we're at 2.5 hours already. Is there anything else we can get into? Guys, this is your chance. Hop on as a speaker. Have any questions? We'll wrap it up here in a few minutes.
Use revoke.cash.
Yes. Yeah, guys. So
one of our community members had a lot of ETC drained from their wallet recently, and that's about all I can really say is use revoke.cash. I mean, there's some sketchy websites out there. I mean, we don't really know how it happened or exactly why yet, but just use that revoke.cash and make sure that you're not having permissions last forever.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it in the past, but revoke.cash is a great resource. You hook up your wallet, and it's going to show you all the sites and allowances that you've allowed over the years. And trust me, I've found a few in some of my wallets that were phishing, right? Something I connected to and didn't realize it. And you can deconnect those for a small gas fee. And I recommend everybody do that. You have to do it for each separate wallet, by the way, though, in MetaMask. So if you have 15 wallets, you basically hook it up 15 different times, and it'll show you every site and allowances that you've allowed to any website. And the big difference there, too, if you detach websites from MetaMask, that's only half the battle. That does not mean that you disconnected the allowances, if that makes sense. So really the only way to do it is I do both. You can detach from your MetaMask and then go to revoke.cash, and then that's where you're actually removing the allowances you allowed to websites, if that makes sense. And you have to change it per network as well. But that site does most of all the networks. So MetaMask, you switch it over to ETC, you can switch it to ETH, you can switch it to whatever blockchain, and then that separately is going to tell you what's linked up under each blockchain. So definitely worth checking out. And Tricky, you guys weren't able to track it down. What wallet or site that recent issue was on?
Somebody knows the wallet, but nobody knows why it got drained to that wallet. That's the problem.
That's weird. Okay. Yeah, I guess the only thing you can really do is just detach from it. Whoever's connected to it. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 130, 140 ETC.
Do you know if it's something they linked to recently? Or was it like they've been linked to it for a while? Or do they know?
They believe it was something to possibly do with NFT Creed, the other marketplace that existed a long time ago. But again, we don't really know for sure. Okay. But that person disconnected from everything, and I believe Seth is trying to trace that person down. There's a few people trying to work and figure out who it was that got these funds.
That's crazy. Well, I would probably start with whoever was behind that site. I think we all know a couple people that were involved, right? Whoever's behind that site, maybe? Is it a trail?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you really never know, and unless you're the person that built the contract and the website. I mean, there's just so many different people involved in making something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. There could be a lot of people involved. Wow, that's crazy. Everybody check your wallets, though. I don't know, man. We always talk about this every week, but dude, like crypto safety is nuts. You gotta be careful with everything. Be careful with whatever you interact with, whatever you connect to. There's just too many rabbit holes out there, I would say.
If I might add real quick, Your best bet is to grab yourself a Tangent wallet, because you can swap and you can send it right straight to your Tangent wallet. I mean, you got a cold wallet right there. So that is your crypto, your keys right there. And it's not connected to anything unless you let somebody have access to your phone.
What was the name of it one more time?
The Tangent wallet.
Okay.
Yeah, if you use I was talking about Rabid mining earlier. If you use the code, you get 10% off if you use Rabid mining for the coupon code.
Okay. Very cool. Check that out. What's up, Jungle?
So as you can see, we went on for about another 7 minutes and they ended with the Beastie Boys. You can find this if you go searching through Twitter, if you want to hear the whole, almost 3 hours worth. But they covered quite a bit, and I want to thank Rabid Mining for having that coupon code, because obviously these guys are probably going to be using it. So wherever you are, remember to stay safe and have a great weekend. This is Will from the Pelish Miner, and I am out.